Namaste and welcome to Shri and Kira Exploring the Mysteries. I am Sri Ramka.
And I am Kira, and we are sincerely grateful to bid hello, namaste, welcome to all of you that are tuning in on this very special and extraordinary weekend. And so feel our heart and feel our light bow down before you and say, welcome, angel, welcome, master. We are really grateful you are here. And I want to give a big shout out over to tfrlive.com, where we are broadcasting today. Namaste, beloved TFR. We love you dearly. Also want to give a shout out over to onenesstalkradio.com. And over at onenesstalkradio.com, along with being able to listen to the audio, you can watch the video or you can jump into the chat room that's there. And Shri and I do occasionally get into that one. So if you want to get Shri and I directly in a chat, Oneness Talk Radio is the way to go. But we are also broadcasting our video feed to YouTube today over at our Oneness Talk Radio channel. So please subscribe if you have not yet so that you can join us on that channel. And you can chat over there as well. Plus, I believe we are on Facebook for Oneness Talk Radio. Just an extraordinary moment in an extraordinary experience of October. And it's just, there's so much. So before I forget, because we really have to get into so much, give us a call. I'm seeing that call board fill up already, but give us a call right now. You do get to listen to the show while you are there. And it is very simply 517-208-1500. Again, 517-208-1500. And so, whoa,
yes.
Right? I mean, just breathe in for a moment. This is a big weekend. And, you know, there was not a lot of fanfare about this weekend, even though it is a crucible awakening point. And even when Shri and I put out the October Revelations video, which you have not watched over at Official Shri and Kira, go watch it. We were very much invited to take those first 19 days of October. And what is today? I mean, you got to love serendipity, right? Today is the 19th on the dot. And so this October 1920 weekend is the moment where there is an extraordinary pulse wave of blue ray energy. It is an illuminating presence. We are going to read a lot more tomorrow about this, talk more about this tomorrow. But this presence is saying, look, where were you October 2000? And what were you doing? Now, look, if you're listening and saying, hey, I'm only 16 years old, then where you were is important. Go in. Yes. Where were you? It's inviting you to break free as well. Everyone is being invited to break free and follow this beautiful, the words that El Moira gave us this morning were soul spirit. Yeah. And so this soul spirit moment is awakening right now as we speak together. So it is no accident that you are here.
You know, what if you met a sage out in the wilderness and the sage said to you, next weekend, my child.
You know, well, I know where you're going. I'm loving this. I'm loving this.
There is an opportunity for you to lift through millennia of habits, millennia of karma, and to truly touch into your awakened presence. So next weekend, be available. And then he kind of kept walking down the hill, or she, or whoever this sage was. Well, that weekend is right now.
And here's the blessing, though, because I love where you're going with this. None of us were given the extent, and wow, as I'm talking right now, okay, very top of the crown chakra, you might want to be doing some spiral energy, but it is really going, guys. Wow. And so going back to what you were sharing, Shri, the gift of not being told that is that you couldn't ruminate on it for a week.
True.
That it was like, it is right now. And I have to admit that I was a little lamenting, thinking, gosh, you know, it would have been nice to put more things out about this weekend. It would have been nice to make a video. It would have been nice to do this or do that. And the guidance that kept coming through was trust.
Yes.
Trust that those that are meant to find this information this weekend will. And so if you can help get it out there, help us get it out there, because this weekend is in-depthly, how's that for a word?
It's deep.
It's deep, baby. It's in-depthly about this full circle return. And you and I started this earlier, and it's been an intense day, right? This is one of those real October experiences. And I do want to share along what's happening, that because this is such a big weekend of awakening, everything's awakening, guys. Everything's coming up out of the shell. So that is in the world of allness without limitation. So
Yes.
broadness is a gift.
So it really begs a question, because where's your attention? Are you ready? Are you willing?
Yes.
I mean, do you really want to wake up, or do you just want to feel happy about yourself, nothing more?
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with feeling happy about yourself. That's a very nice place to be. However, the cyclical nature of energy and evolutionary process is such that we are at a magical moment now. Take a breath. What would you be willing to let go of in order to attain recognition and embodiment of your mastery?
And to be clear on what that would be, because to get clear on that, it requires, and this is what today's show is focusing on, let's start looking at October 2000. And if you're not even sure, right? Like, I know it took me a minute. I was like, wow, I really need to pay attention. Well, in October 2000, I was at the moment, I was at the epitome of my third dimensional career and the epitome of my third dimensional crisis. It was that big moment, was that moment. And it was about 4 months after that, I started claiming Kira. I was in the back of that metaphysical store in Colorado.
Yeah.
So I'm just sharing that there really is, I'm looking at this too, because should we share what happened today?
Let's share.
Let's share. Okay. Because there's
we're
been
among friends.
We're among family, right? Okay. So, over the past few days, I've been working with some extraordinarily fascinating energy, and I don't feel that I'm being invited to release that yet. However, it left me, after navigating it for about a week, I mean, really, I've been navigating it for about 8 weeks, really, but this past week I was really navigating it. And it left me with inadvertent holes in my own belief system of me. And I noticed this doubt creeping in. And I did notice, and I shared with Shri this morning, that I was starting to feel like, what is happening here? Is this other situation going to affect who I am and what I am? And the answer came through with, and I you know what, I can barely say this, like, I'm literally losing my breath, but the next thing I knew, the Ascended Master El Moira was speaking. And I'm still losing my breath talking about it. And we will offer this message on air tomorrow to everyone freely, but I'm still sitting with it. And the guidance I'm getting is that because of this 19th, 20th full circle return, when you and I first got together, and I'm talking about full circle return because you and I are very much in this full circle return together as well. And those of you that have known Shri and I pretty much throughout our entire public persona will already know that when this first started happening to me, I said I will never do it on a recording. I will never be public. I shouldn't, And
he was very private about it.
Yeah, and it was very challenging. And this new connection with the divine directors, and now very specifically with El Moira, and I've been talking about this and how that full body appearance came to me while our Cosmic Origins group was here, which makes me really bow down before the New Year group that's coming, and the March Cosmic Origins and the September Cosmic Origins. Those points, very specifically, Shri and I literally book full house at our own retreat center because those are just too important not to be here ourselves to lead those groups. And so, Shri, my breath, I feel like my full circle is getting ready to go on stage again. And I'm using that kind of tongue in cheek, but honestly, our coming out party put me on stage in front of 250 people. And it was the first time I was ever doing this. It was kind of like ready, go, So.
Well, and so what's happening here in the Andes where Kira and I are anchored is that the blessing of the divine connection is coming full circle into a potency.
Yes.
And it comes in various ways. Anybody who's visited our retreat center, Tosa Blue Mountain, can confirm for you the beauty and the energy here is unlike that which you will find elsewhere. There is a Garden of Eden kind of feeling and a beautiful visual as well that is present. And the Garden of Eden feeling, specifically what I'm referring to, is that sense of unadulterated resurrection. I am, alive and vital.
Yeah.
And
the reverse aging.
Yes.
Right? And this is, a lot of you have been commenting about how Sri and I look like we're reverse aging. We honestly are. I think we're kind of in the best shape we've ever been in. And so a lot of that has to do with the blessing of being able to really be here. However, it's also the blessing of this community unified with that energy.
Yeah.
I feel like we're kind of a radar post, and that through these broadcasts, we get the opportunity to connect that energy with each other, to radiate and reflect in the divine Shivoham and the ultimate Namaste. And that's what this weekend is about. It's saying that look at over that. So I know myself, as I weave through the past 19 years, that's really been our coming out party.
Yeah.
You and I mean, literally for Sri and I, those 19 years are literally the summation of where we are right now today. And with all of this momentum and energy coming in, there is a weekend before us all to say, okay, if you were able to hit go with the wisdom of this coming full circle, yet carrying all of the best pieces, what would that look like? And so over this weekend, it's a really good moment to start looking at not mistakes that were made, but maybe course corrections that you would have made, maybe something else, and to start looking how the universe has tapped on your shoulder again, and to pay attention to what is asking you to pay attention. Physical body included, and right at the top.
Yeah, well, one of the things that's been coming forward in my recognition is that our physical body can only go so far on the Ascension pathway, and that it is here in union with the soul to support your journey. But there comes a time when the physical body is reaching its limit as far as the frequencies it can hold while you are in form. This is why so often it's very useful to be able to do some traveling without the body, to be able to be in that meditative or out-of-body state, to continue your journey of the revelation of the deeper level of truth of this beingness, this cosmos. And one of the things, as I was sharing earlier about living here at this Ascension campus we call Tosa Blue Mountain.
And it is a campus. We needed a campus because I think that learning the yoga of self-ascension takes more than just a couple of shows.
Yeah. There is a depth to this work that requires a regular commitment in your life. And one of the funny things for me today is I was working in the kitchen playing with a recipe, and Kira was communing with Elmora in another part of the campus, and there was a moment where all of a sudden time stopped. I didn't know time had stopped until I came through the other side.
Exactly.
There's a moment where my head is all, and it feels big beyond the cranium, and that I'm no longer paying any attention to what's going on out here, and I'm not sure where I am or what I'm doing. It's not crystal clear to me in the moment. What is clear to me is a download is occurring, a connection is occurring. And then when that passes, my style is to kind of make sense of it. But here's the piece I want to share. I was experiencing this frequency while Kira was experiencing her direct communion.
Yeah.
And what we have heard from visitors here that have come to Tosa Blue Mountain is people spontaneously receive their uploads or downloads, depending on how you want to phrase that, whether it's visiting the sacred caves that are here or sitting under the tree of wisdom or simply being in the gardens. There comes moments where each person's ascended helpers are tapping you on the shoulder, and you, because you aren't in your pattern, are available.
Well, no, that's because, Sri, and yes, not only are you available, and this is, guys, before any kind of San Pedro journey. I mean, people don't come here only for that.
No,
and
that's
yes, we
just
offer
one tiny
that,
part.
but that's not everything that happens here. And what I wanted to go back to, though, Sri, was you are brilliantly discussing the physical experience of lifting, of becoming that beautiful witness, witnessing the witnesser of the witness again. And this is something that must be talked about more, because one of the conversations that Sri and I have been having, and it's interesting that this all of this information coming in from the Divine Directors and the Ascended Masters, and now specifically El Moira, is very much about going outside of linear thinking. And this is, I'm with all my heart and soul, please, my angels, hear me. There is a teacher for every student. Yes. And all voices deserve to be heard. This is why Sri and I founded onenesstalkradio.com, because we got tired of waiting for somebody to bring together a place where everybody has the right to share with inside of a safe space. And in that spirit, it is a moment, and especially this weekend, where the addictive nature of the 3D information overload is literally inviting you to self-inflict yourself with interference energy. And that if you are here listening to this show right now, it's because you already know that. You're already beyond it. And to recognize that just because you might get triggered, just because you might have a momentary flare, just because you might in your world screw up, it's the witnessing of it that is the perfection of the moment. Because in that moment of witnessing, you break free of it. It instantly heals that which was affected by it and helps you to slide. And this is what you're discussing, Sri. And I really feel that, especially with the master-filled awakening of this weekend, it's about going way outside of anything that keeps you locked in linear thought. And that's a big expansion.
Well, it's also a big challenge for people who have relied upon that form of thinking to provide them with meaning, to provide them with context.
That's true.
Even one of my favorite mentors from years ago is David Hawkins, who his landmark book was Power versus Force. And Hawkins described eloquently a scale of consciousness and what happens. And one of the key markers in his work was that when we lift through the various levels of consciousness and touch into kind of the halfway point, right at 500, we're moving into the zone that he calls love, that we call the fifth dimension, that is the unconditional love, where we shift out of the linear cause and effect and look more toward the context of our lives. We look more toward the energy that is emanating from a person. And then as we continue the scale beyond love into joy and the bliss and all these very refined frequencies, that the way we think must change. But here's the paradox. His scale is linear.
Exactly. And this is, we've been talking about this.
This is where we finally experientially bumped into the missing piece of his work.
Kind of like a key that goes, oh, that part.
And it's very useful work.
Yes, groundbreaking.
And yet it does not adequately capture how to measure that which is immeasurable, how to describe that which is not describable, and how to be able to develop a language of the multidimensional state of being, which is a necessary ingredient in your restoration of your soul.
Now, just breathe that in, because it's so beautiful that so many beautiful beloved ones are waking up to the fifth dimension now. Yet the reality, the truth, the fact is that the fifth dimensional anchor ship began right around this 19-year cycle.
Yeah, right after 2000.
And if you want to really learn about the fifth dimension and how to live in the fifth dimension, please go to shriandkira.com, our website, and this is all free. And right across the top, you're going to see something that says Messages from the Masters. Click on that. The very first series is called Living in the Fifth Dimension. And it is a very profound series. And this came in from Archangel Zadkiel shortly after I had said I would never do this publicly. And it has been there for quite a while. I think it came forward for this moment in time. And so that would be one of the first things I would share with you. However, energetically, Shri, this is the reason why, if we keep ourselves focused at, hey, I'm having a hard enough time with the fifth, don't talk to me about the seventh. No, right now it's, hey, hello, from the seventh, get up here. We need you here.
Yes.
And I know, I do with all my heart and soul. I know what this sounds like. I really do. However, what I can share with you is that I am living there right now. And in that surrender, in that recognition, you will cross the borderlands of sanity again and again and again. And as long as you keep saying yes, and as long as you stay in that compassion energy, because that's what anchors all that love, is the compassion. And that compassion has to begin with yourself. And this is why Shri and I have been saying to everyone or inviting everyone, please, just in your moments of beautiful, blessed time, just send a blessing to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, because he is the one, he is burdened and or blessed, because I experienced this myself, with the mission of anchoring fifth dimensional compassion portals open on the planet. And so this is one of the blessings of the coming out of the Dalai Lama from the secretiveness of Tibet, is that it was a moment in the mid-19th century, and it really was, in that mid-period there, where the planet needed a bump. It needed a push to help get it going so that this moment could come together in the probability of that time that we would be where we are now. And what a gift that happened, because we are here now. Mm-hmm. And that is giving all of us an opportunity, especially right now, to literally, Shri, literally quantum leap your mastery over this next couple days and all the way through until next weekend. It's massive.
And my intention in sharing what I shared earlier is to maybe plant a seed in your own mind to release expectations on what it should look like, and instead be available for an experience of an energetic consciousness, a consciousness of a state of being that perhaps doesn't use thoughts, or only when it is needing to take action will it use thoughts. Action is not required. You are active. You cannot help but be active. But to take action means I'm now in a subject-object relationship with the world. And if you're not there, then you don't need thought either, do you? So have fun with that. Take some moments. Go sit with a flower. Go stare at the clouds. Do whatever will support you to let go of all expectations and judgments on just what the ascended state ought to be.
Bingo.
And just discover what it might be.
Really a profound point, especially in a weekend of extraordinary awakening. Yeah. And, Shri, speaking of an extraordinary weekend and awakening, I saw that we have a caller here from Sedona. And before we welcome them into the show, for those of you that have not read Sacred Union, The Journey Home, The Path of Self-Ascension, my first question would be, why not?
It's a good book.
It is a book that has been in constant reprint for almost, 17 years now. As fresh today as it was the day we wrote it, I really encourage you to read it. But if you did read it, then you know that Shri and I met online. We were an early spiritual singles success story way back when. And our first in person, I was living in Denver, Colorado. Well, I was actually living up near Boulder, but I was in Colorado. You were in San Diego. And so our first meeting was in Sedona. So I just
land
thought,
of the red rocks and vortexes.
And I'm like, okay, because we're coming full circle, we have to. This one just caught my eye.
Let me bring you into the conversation.
Sedona, namaste. Welcome, Angel.
I don't see you talking.
Oh, now hi.
All right. Well, that's not going to work.
Okay, well, we love you, Sedona. Thank you. We're glad that we had this moment to connect with you. All right, Shri, I'm not going to look. I'm losing my breath with the call board. They are so amazing today. So go for it. It's Shri's choice.
All right. I'll tell you what. We're going to head to Oregon.
Okay, or I know why. You were born there. All right, we're going to Oregon.
Hello?
Hi, namaste, Oregon.
Oh, good morning. I have been really resonating with this 19-year cycle thing. When I look back to that time, I too was in it. I had little kids. I was working, and I threw up my hands to the universe and said, "Is this all there is? There's got to be more." And of course, then I received a new journey. I bought a camera and had this wonderful adventure, and really found a relationship with God in that experience through the lens. And so now I hear that, and it just really puts me back in my seat, because that's how I feel now, on the cusp of this opening. And so although I felt really shy about it, was guided to call and thank you. May I have a mini soul reading about this reawakening, especially for all of us to share?
Well, Angel, I love that you're our first caller we're speaking with in this language this morning. And thank you. I just want to bow before you, because when you started talking about your camera, it was funny. I saw your star consciousness open. And I clearly heard, and I have this very, 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 like, almost like I'm underwater, like, that pressure in the ears, and it's a very, very, very high pitched tone. And all I'm hearing is this energy that is kind of translating to you and saying, now take these photos with that of your inner eye and expand it into the world before you, because the next step will take you soaring. And so it is. Thank you for bringing that energy. I'm flying with you right now. Thank you. I feel like I can barely be in my chair.
Oh, amen. Thank you so much.
Amen. I love you, honey.
Oh, thank you.
Mwah.
Many blessings.
Many blessings, beloved angel. Wow. Don't you just feel that?
Yeah.
Wow. I love this weekend. Full circle, guys, with the wisdom of the journey. And I just want to give a shout out to TFR Live. I know we're going into commercial break. We will be back in about 3 minutes. Wow. The show always goes so fast, doesn't it, Shri?
It does.
Wow.
And it's always a delight to connect with you, whether we talk to you in person or just kind of feel your presence. It's good.
Well, and I do want to share, Shri, while we're on this kind of like, I call it 3-minute bonus time.
Yeah.
We received an incredible email, and I wanted to just read it. It was, let me see, it was forwarded to me. Here it is. And it's from a listener in Italy, I believe. And she gives this very long story about an unexpected hospital recovery for her son, and about all of the twists and turns and what happened, and how something that they thought was an insect bite turned into this massive ICU, and all of the other things. And
I see it.
She was really it was just so beautiful. I don't want to read too much of it because it's very, very personal. But what she was saying is that, and I will read this here because I think in the intensity of this month, we're all kind of going through this. And so what she says is, there have already been miracles happening, and I also feel supported by participating in the soul charting program as I open to relaxing into energies that know and are. Thank you. With living in a country where medical care is not an expense, we have been shocked to find we have a big bill. So that was a very big shock to the family. However, as a family, we have found that even though there is injustice of this economic system, we choose to appreciate that we do, in fact, have a little money to set aside from my husband's retirement. I had forgotten we had that money, and so we appreciate that it is miraculously there for this moment. I can certainly say I never saw this coming, and it has and is a big moment. And she said, any support is welcome, as I understand the giving and receiving is part and parcel of the same energy. And so with so much love I have for you, I thank you, I love you. And this is from Denise. And I think, Denise, what I wanted to share with everyone, and the reason I wanted to read your letter, is that the reason things are going to keep working out for you, the reason, and everything that you went through with your son, I mean, everything that happened here, but the reason it's going to keep unveiling is because you are in a moment right now where the universe is saying, can you trust us that we've got you? And so you're going to have, and this happens for a lot of people, and this was the reason why I wanted to bring your letter forward, is that oftentimes a sign that we have reached a next level of our evolution, that we are getting ready to really step up onto a new way of carrying our mastery, the universe will put around us this type of situation as not a test, as an experience of trust. And so the key, there's two things that I have learned, because I've had quite a few of those around me all the way up until not including this morning. What I have really learned through this is that it's not whether or not you think you failed at some point. It's about the moment you become the witness, witnessing the witnesser. And in that moment, not only do you break free, the solution appears. And so, Denise, I wanted to really just bow before you and your family. And the only reading I would offer to you in this moment is to trust yourself more and to get it. The universe is talking. And they have a lot to say. And I know you and I have a private reading coming up this week, and they have a lot to say. Namaste.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Namaste.
Yeah.
And it stimulates me to want to share a little bit about abundance, because
Yeah.
it's sometimes.
And welcome back, TFR.
Welcome back, TFR. Abundance is misunderstood as surprise money or great flow or something. We live in an abundant universe. Everything is abundantly flowing, whether you are abundantly in poverty or abundantly wealthy in whatever way, because there's many measures of wealth. The key is to trust that what is required will be provided, and leave it there.
And over this 19-year cycle, how many times has that been demonstrated to you? Count the blessings, literally. Pay attention. Because,
one of the things she demonstrated here that I've certainly experienced in my life is what we call found money. Well, it was mine all along, but I just found it again, kind of thing.
Which is the universe saying, I've got you.
Yeah,
right? You even forgot it was there, right? You're only finding it because you forgot you lost it.
I'm finding it because now it's required.
Exactly. And that's true flow, right? I mean, that is true flow. And you know what, Sri, I'm kind of freaking out because you have not even heard the installment that came in yet this morning.
No.
Okay, and one of the things, we're going to read it tomorrow, like I said, but if I remember this correctly, one of the things they talked about is going beyond transcending the belief systems that even the law of attraction limit you to.
Yes. Well,
and so
definitely.
that's all in there for tomorrow. And so I was just kind of freaking out as you were talking, because I'm like, wow, I honestly have not shared this with anyone yet. And that just kind of blew my mind. So I love when my mind gets blown. And the other way my mind gets blown is talking to that amazing group over there. And we have a ton of them waiting.
Let's go back to the call board and
Let's
say hi
go
to some
back
folks
to
here.
the call board, please. All
Let's
right.
see.
Where are we going? New Jersey? Is that where that is?
That
It
looks
looks
like
like
New
New Jersey. Hey, New Jersey. Namaste.
Hello. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Namaste.
Honored to be here with you. I'm going through I guess I'd like a soul reading regarding some intense joint issues in my legs, especially my right side, my right leg, my knee. And it comes and goes during the day. It's very strange. I think I have a cartilage issue in the right knee, but it's not painful. It's not very painful. But there's aches in the muscles, and I just wondered if I was experiencing a shift.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Energy.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in, honey, because it's actually talking. It's fascinating. As you were sharing, I literally could see the points of energy, and I can see where they are. And here's the key: is that it's like this is your mobility, and you're at a moment where it's like use it or lose it. This is that if not now, when, if not you, who, which is the ultimate October energy, is in front of you. Now, they're also saying, bring me more comfort. They're saying daily hot Epsom salt baths. And when you're in the bath, light your candle and start listening to what's being said, because The rest of what wants to be shared is actually very private, and I know you can receive it when you're in the tub, but this does require your attention. And the sooner you give it your attention, the sooner you can walk in a very different way. And so it is. I'm grateful that you're here with us right now. Thank you, my angel.
And I got in too that I could actually heal my own body.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what they're saying. Yeah, absolutely.
It begins by that communion.
Yeah. I'm so glad
Okay.
thank you for bringing that energy into today's extraordinary co-creative process. Thank you, my
Much
love.
love.
Namaste. Bye-bye. Wow, Shri, I'm just, there is, as we're in this flow, I really want to bring it back again, because tomorrow we're taking this conversation a lot deeper. But I want to also remind you that Shri and I have been talking about our 5G products, and I'm very excited to say that our maker, the woman who's running our co-op, and it's a beautiful women's cooperative, which I'm very proud and honored to be a part of, and several other beautiful beings, including the indigenous women that are making the products here. They are in the United States. They are in the finishing process, and so the website is not up yet. However,
We wanted to post a couple photos and give you
Yeah.
a chance to reserve one for yourself.
and so this is at the price before it goes on the web. It'll be higher. So if you want to, remember, delivery will not be until like later November, but you will get them in November for sure.
Yeah, there's very limited inventory, so if
Yeah.
you'd like to claim that for
Claim
yourself,
it.
go visit malasforascension.com. That's
Okay, so first go,
MALAS, Malas for FOR Ascension, ASCENSION
.com.
And when you get there, go look at featured products, and there's a whole host of featured products, and the macanas and the Panama hats are there. You can see what they look like, and if you read the description of the macanas, I think you'll be very touched at the authenticity that is expressed through a centuries-old process of dyeing fabric and infusing the fabric with this compassionate care, because these are fabrics of care. It's a way
Yeah.
to protect and love yourself.
Yeah,
And so that energy of loving protection is woven right into the fabric.
literally.
And then we apply a very modern silver. This is 100% pure silver thread fabric. We apply that as a lining. And that is what shields you from offensive radiation. And it's antibiotic. It's very, very...
It's great because you can also use it as, like, if you want to wrap it around your mouth, right? You can, instead of wearing
if
a
you
mask,
want to wear a little
like if you
protector
need, you
from
can do
pollen
that.
or something.
And
yeah.
I wear the scarf actually wrapped, and we're getting ready to put out some videos to explain them to you. But I did want to take a moment and just share that.
It's there to see
Just
now.
because Shri and I have not released the video yet does not mean this project has gone away. However, we will share that this project ran into some serious interference energy and came that close from not happening. And so this is a miracle in motion that is now supporting a lot of people to eat beautiful indigenous women to keep an ancient craft alive. And we actually have a video about the hats and the way they're made. Everything is 100% real. So anyway, malasforascension.com, check out the featured products and you'll find them. That is not the final website. That is just for pre-orders.
That's just for friends of the family.
Literally at the pre-website pricing. So just want to let you guys know, because I've been getting a lot of emails about that, and we now finally have a place you can go to. All right, Shri, this weekend is so amazing. We have such a huge call board. Where are we going next? Hold on. There's so many people here. I'm like, okay, what do we have here? All right, let's go to, is that Calais, Maine? Is that where I'm going? Is that?
Cell phone.
I think so. It may be Maine. Hi, namaste.
Oh, just disappeared.
Just disappeared. Okay, well, I guess Maine was like, no, I'm just calling. I don't want to speak. All right. Well, Shri, let's go to Cleveland, Ohio.
All right.
Hey, Cleveland, Ohio.
Hello, namaste.
Hi, sweetheart. Namaste.
Hi, dear one.
Hello. Want to wish you both sweetest day here.
Thank you.
Happy.
Thank you.
And with, all the exciting things that are happening on the planet, I just wanted to celebrate you two and how beautiful you both are and your
sacred union and all the miracles that it's bringing to our planet. And it's something to celebrate every day. I know you're working hard. I just wanted to celebrate you both.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you. I'm not familiar with Sweetest Day, but I feel the sentiment and the energy coming through your beautiful field right now. And so please receive back in an infinite experience of radiated love and joy, everything you just shared with us. And thank you, Monica. We love you dearly.
Thank you. God bless you both.
And you, my angel.
Many
Namaste.
blessings.
Namaste. Whoo, Shri. Hey, we have an anonymous caller. Should we say hey?
Let's say hello to Anonymous.
Hello, Anonymous.
Hi there.
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi. Namaste.
Hi. Namaste. Thank you. I'm so sorry. My dogs are barking.
It's okay. I have dogs
Thank
too.
you. Oh, sorry. Thank you so much for taking my call. I was wondering if you can help me. In 2000, I was changed for a new home because I was beginning a new life, and now I am beautiful home, but it's difficult for me to without a mess. I don't know why. It's so hard for me to be well in this home. I wonder if you can give me a mini soul reading around this.
I'm happy to, my love.
Okay,
and
we're going to mute your speaker.
we muted your speaker only so that everyone can hear you and hear me. So first of all, as you're speaking, I'm getting physical pain in my heart. So I'm holding my hands over my physical heart for you. And I'm asking everyone right now who's tuning in, may we each connect heart to heart. Because, my love, where you are living right now, your heart is hurting. And so the message that keeps coming in from the archangelic realm and these beautiful masters that are all around you that are really holding you, but they're looking at you and they're looking you straight in the eye and they're saying it is time for you to heal your heart. And when you heal your heart, your true home will emerge. And so it is.
Very sweet. You know, it's important to remember that the healing journey is continuous, and that the healing journey occurs at many levels. You know, in our heart and our emotions are one level, and our body is certainly another level. One of the things that I was struck by with a prior caller is that it's important when we are starting to experience a body part that is acting out or is subjected to stress or strain or pain, whether it's a knee or a back or a tummy or whatever body part, it's important to pay attention in a new way. Because not only are our bodies being asked to process frequencies that were not being asked to process earlier, so there's new terrain, so to speak, new energetic terrain.
Exactly.
There's also a requirement that the body let go of certain habitual ways of being in order to kind of make space to be available to have resources for the new ways.
So I want to jump in, Shri, because over here in the chat at Oneness Talk Radio, guest 88, sorry, don't know your name, is saying, hey, Shri and Kira, what is the difference of living in the 5D versus the 7D? And I think that this is tying in with what you're saying and a very important question, because this does need to be discussed. And this is what we were touching on earlier, that in this, you know, for many, I don't know, we do have. Okay, so for those of you that are watching right now, I just put up the witnesser graphic. So as you will see, if you start at the bottom there, you see where it says third at the very bottom, and there's like a little mini angel. Well, that's the third dimensional experience of you. And so that has its own witness experience. Oftentimes, the energy that's taught about becoming the witness is a linear experience. However, how you know you're anchoring into the fifth dimension, into the 5D, is that you become the witnesser of the witness. And that's what Shri was talking about earlier. You suddenly realize that, wait a minute, time kind of stood still for a moment, or you recognize a sense of compassion around the experiences that are happening in your life. Anchoring compassion is a sign of the fifth dimension. Now, I will share with you that fifth dimensional compassion is empowered. It is not compassion at the sense of self-sacrifice, which is actually a fourth dimensional illusion designed to trap you with guilt and feed the ego. So in the fifth dimension, right now, what is happening is that the fifth dimensional energy is beautifully robust. However, as it meshes with the fourth dimension, because the fourth dimension has become collapsed into the third dimension, it is actually starting to erode and thereby allow or invite in greater doubt. And this is why the seventh dimensional opening came forward. And if you look at this graphic, the seventh dimension is the largest. This is the dimension that has just opened. This is the energy. And 2019, I'm going to flip to another graphic, guys. 2019 is the year of divine awareness, and you'll see it was the year of the lotus. Why? Because everything is coming up out of the mud, and not everything that comes out of the mud blooms into a lotus, right? But this was an opportunity this year to really, for the entire year, remember this was a year of divine awareness. 2020, the year ahead, you'll see, is the year of the dragonfly energy. And they show me these energies very clearly. And so 2020 is the year of that dragonfly experience because it's mastery experience. And it's about being able to fly through it. And so this moment right now is extremely important because to be in the seventh dimensional anchoring, the difference between the 5D and the 7D is that you will notice that you lift from the witnesser of the third dimensional experience and you start witnessing the witnesser of the witness. And in that witnessing, through my own personal experience, it is a complete melting of all judgment. It is a recognition of the divine perfection. It is the embodiment of forgive them, they know not what they do. Love them, they know not what they do, and then release even what knowing would look like. That it is the process before thee. And I can share with you that beginning to anchor there more often takes a toll on the physical body. And lifting from there into the ninth dimension is happening all the time. And that's why a campus was created. That's why Tosa Blue Mountain, and check out tosabluemountain.com. Again, our apologies, the website's not 100%, will be soon. But we've created a campus for the yoga of self-ascension because when you can give yourself a week in the energy where every interaction you have is with another that is seeing you in your highest expression, then you can create that expression, carry it outward, and expand consciousness around this entire globe and beyond. But in order to do that, you have to step outside the realm of density. And I think, wasn't it Archangel Zadkiel that said many years ago about get out of one world consciousness?
Yeah.
Or was that in the Lost Books of the Sea? I don't know. But I know it's in one of our messages.
Yeah.
Forgive me.
It is also about context. Is if all of your context is based upon the way it was, then you're carrying the past with you. And if all of your context is based upon Earth alone, then you're carrying a limitation with you. When I was chatting earlier about that stream of energy or beingness that loses track of time, that is not filled with thoughts, that's because thoughts are associated with the lower dimensional frequencies, because that is the vocabulary, that's the library of the mind. And not given the brain a bad rap, it has its use. However, it's important to also be thoughtless. Right. It's important to also be available to a way of being that doesn't require that. Or you'll start using your thoughts differently because then they become manifestation tools. So the thing here is the fifth dimensional availability has been around and is a place where you all of a sudden can gather perspective of not being so hypnotized anymore. You're getting aware of the witnessing. And then that's the launching pad for the true multidimensional experience. The fifth dimension is not a destination. It's a point to clear your brain, to clear your heart, to clear your lens. It's a useful place of resting and gaining in perspective.
And really becoming the compassion.
Yeah.
You know, this is the gift of the multidimensional ascension experience. And, you know, the other day I had a wonderful email with a woman that I just adore who said, you know, it's hard to define you guys. You know, I have yet to figure out how to define you. And I really sat with that and I thought, okay. She said, you know, a lot of people don't know about you because I don't know how to define you. And maybe that's a good thing. You know, what really came through was, how can you define the undefinable? Right? Perhaps it's about going outside the definable and letting the experience become the journey. And that is the moment. That is what the yoga of self-ascension is all about. And again, this is why we created the campus, because we're at a moment on the planet where it's challenging to do it on your own. So again, Shri and I, as we opened up this show, we honor and celebrate you for connecting with us. And please make sure you join us tomorrow at noon Pacific time at onenesstalkradio.com, bbsradio.com, over at Official Shri and Kira, our YouTube channel. And this is the community moment where when we come together, we're also co-creating greater expanded presence. That's the gift. And I really sincerely honor you for saying yes to that. Now, how many others? This weekend, you are in. Where were you October 2019? What have you, October 2000.
I know where you are.
I
You're
know
right
where you
here.
are. You're here. Thank you, Shri. Right?
October 2000, 19
Yes.
years ago.
Exactly.
And take a moment and be with that, because there is a completion that has come forth. There is an opportunity to not just simply roll into a do-over,
Right.
but to roll into kind of a do-all, a do-better.
Ooh, I like that.
You know?
Yeah, do it again, only better.
Is to take that, the nuggets of liberation, the nuggets of wisdom, the nuggets of recognition of who you are. Because when we take a look at what we were doing, I know for myself, I reflected on this earlier today, and I was teaching at that time. And I know that one of our callers talked about connecting with the divine through the camera and the lens, and that it's important to take a look at the glimpses that came forward that informed you, that somehow offered you an avenue of positivity. Look for those. We all have our own.
Yes, we do. And Shri, we have, it looks like time to say hi to a few more people here. So let's go to our call board and let's go to, how about we have right here, let's try Pennsylvania. Is that what I'm seeing right here, Pennsylvania?
All right.
All right. Hey, Pennsylvania. Namaste.
Namaste, Shri and Kara. It's Benjamin.
Hey, Benjamin. Namaste, sweetheart.
Welcome.
Hello. I just wanted to say, hope you're having a great day and wanted to call in. I guess just ask for a mini soul reading, and it's been a crazy few weeks. It's been, especially when it comes to like interference, helping to get rid of that and acquiring more crystals, and now it's still physical stuff, and I've tried to get help with it. And you know, I had one option. I was like, okay, I'll be able to go here and get help with it, but then that door just closed, and yeah, I'm just hoping for more guidance when it comes to this.
Well, thank you for calling. I'm really glad you called, Benjamin. I really am. And I don't think it's any accident that you got onto the show today, because in many ways, what you're sharing with me right now and what I'm seeing around you is very much in alignment with this weekend's claiming. And there is a like a spiraling group of energy around you. And they all keep saying the same thing, that you have refused to claim yourself. That there is inside of you a deep, it's like a cavern, and it's not painful, it's just deep. And they're saying it's time to recognize that even the deepest cavern can be immediately filled with love, and that it's time to love yourself enough to simply say yes, and they're saying stop looking, that you're distracting yourself, and they're saying stay right here, focused on you and that which you know is true, and you will sail through this moment. And I think it's perfect that you got a hold of us right now in this extraordinary weekend. Time to say yes to you, Benjamin, and thank you for the blessing of being with us today.
Oh, thank you too, and much love to you both.
And to you, Angel. Namaste.
Namaste.
Whew, wow, my heart, it's been a big heart day, right? You guys feeling that?
Yeah.
I'm like, whoo. And let's see. I'm just looking over here. And, thank you. Somebody who's been to Tosa Blue Mountain was sharing over at Oneness Talk Radio. Thank you. And I have Annette asking, what belief or block is time to let go of so I can truly live fully as a woman? Annette, I want to share with you, I read that a little bit earlier, right before we got Benjamin on the line, and it was like they were screaming at me. Like all of your guides are like, tell her she already is that. And what they're saying is that stop thinking there's block and start living who you are right now. Smile, dance, put on your favorite music, go be you, and say yes to your life, and watch how fast things come in. And so thank you, my love. I wanted to hold that, Shri, because I know we're almost out of time, and I thought what a wonderful way for all of us to end today is to go dance and celebrate your life. Take the next 24 hours looking at that 19-year cycle, because I'm excited to continue this conversation tomorrow.
Absolutely. And I do appreciate that energy has come forward, because each and every one of us can use more of that which we are.
Yes.
Each and every one of us is like, make room for the fantasticness that is you.
Okay.
And let go of expectations. You
Okay.
could be fantastic at sitting quietly. You could be fantastic at dancing and giggling and drawing or whatever it is. It does not matter. What matters is that you surrender to you.
Bingo.
Whoa, what fun indeed. Beloveds, as we are coming to a close here today, it's time to take that energy of celebration and bring it right into your heart. To be able to say, I am enough.
Oh, yeah.
And as you breathe deeply and as you trust yourselves, let a smile come to your face, and may you know that all is truly well.
Namaste.
Namaste.